Hello and welcome to Policy and Politics with me, Tarun Nangia. After a challenging phase, things are looking up in the steel sector ahead. And to discuss how this revival was done, the new steel policy and the road ahead, my guest today is Steel Secretary Aruna Sharma. Ma'am, thank you so much for sparing your time and joining us on today's episode. Now, I want to take a bird's eye view of the sector. And I would like to ask that the global environment, as we see, has been challenging in the past 2-3 years. The steel industry faced troublesome times right since 2014. But now things are looking up in the steel sector. Companies have started reporting operating profits. Thanks to proactive policies like safeguard duty and many others, you must have a reason to be happy.
Definitely. One is very happy that many a times the interventions which the government makes do hit the bullseye, and that is what has happened here. So it is very, very encouraging. And what you correctly said, steel sector was in ICU. There were serious problems. The plants, the smaller plants, secondary sector were closing down. The bigger plants, integrated steel plants, were doing losses. They had not been able to get the price of what is their production cost itself. So that required an immediate SOS kind of a treatment. So government immediately went for having an MIP for a short period, followed by anti-dumping duties. Because MIP is not WTO compliant, it is supposed to be a patchwork treatment for emergencies. But anti-dumping is completely WTO compliant, and we scientifically went about it for 124 product lines. So that gave them a breather. Then it was supplemented by countervailing duties or safeguard measures on some specific products. Another very important measure which was done, a lot of spurious steel was coming within the country. And therefore we went for the quality regime. So BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, now steel sector is the one which has got the maximum notified standards. We already have 37 of them that covers 85% of the steel. And we are in process of doing another 16 which are at the final stages and will come any day. So that is where we stand. So that not only stopped the spurious steel entering the country, because these standards became mandatory, it also encouraged the secondary sector to start producing quality steels. So in the sense, that regime along with anti-dumping helped in preventing cheap, spurious, low quality steel entering India. That gave a boost to the Indian steel manufacturers, and then they were back on track. So they all worked hard on that. And secondary sector, which contributes 57%, shifted to the regime of high quality steel, so that while tendering, in some of the products, they are absolutely on par with the integrated steel plants.
Yes. So basically the quality of imported steel also went up, and the bad quality steel is now out of India.
Absolutely.
So basically India adopted a regime of enforcing strict standards.
Absolutely.
So standards
combined with anti-dumping.
Yes.
So in the sense, nobody could throw a quality steel at a cheaper cost than their cost of manufacture.
Yes.
Nor they could dump low quality steel in the country.
So minimum import price played an important.
Absolutely. But you call it as an anti-dumping duty. That is where it took care of it.
Now I'll take this ahead. 4 years ago, India was fourth in steel production globally, behind China, Japan and USA. But now India has replaced Japan, has become the second largest manufacturer of steel in the world. Even while the industry was facing such stress, how did this?
See, actually what happened is US sort of restricted their manufacture a bit. So moving from 4 to 3 was more an outcome of that.
Yes.
But moving from 3 to 2, Japan manufactured and our manufacture in the calendar year of 17, we were 102 and Japan was 104 million tons of steel produced. And this calendar year, that is 2018, January till May, every month we are ahead of Japan.
Every month?
Every month. We are ahead of Japan. So we are very, very sure by December, India will become number 2 in the steel manufacturing. Our capacity has also already reached 134 million tons. And this is something we'll add another couple of million tons. And by 2020, we are expecting we will reach 150 million tons capacity of production.
So at 150 million tons capacity, we are much ahead of, say, any other country except China. So we are the absolute number 2.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you foresee us consuming that much of steel?
Yes, because the whole policy, what steel policy we have come up with in May 2017, we realized that we are an absolute low consuming country. we were consuming just 60 kg per capita.
That's all.
That's all. And to reach from 50 to 58, we took 7 years.
Yes.
So it's a long time. The excuse cannot be denominator because China, with more population than us, consumes 498 kg per capita.
498 kg.
Yes.
So we are a
Yes.
fraction of China.
That's right. And international average is 208 kg. So much gap is there.
May I want to know from you, what can this be attributed to this?
It is because we are a very low infrastructure country, one. Two, we shifted to alternate materials, right? So the approach which we adopted was, first thing is we insisted and worked hard to get the GFR amended. In GFR, that is General Financial Rules, we introduced the concept of life cycle cost. So whenever you make a tender or you are asking for what material to be used in infrastructure, if you put the life cycles cost, then steel is a winner. Because life cycle of steel is 100 years. Yes. Zero maintenance, you don't have to look at it and you can just go ahead. And that is what the world is doing. You must have seen everywhere, it is the steel intensive structures which come up.
Yes.
So that gave a boost. That supplemented by ensuring that propagation happens. We had focused conferences and seminars with the related government departments, its agencies, to explain to them the advantages of this, and the results were very encouraging. From 60 to 68 kg per capita, we have reached in 3 years.
Yes.
So it's a very good boost.
So it's a good sign that we are increasing.
Very good sign. And India being a low infrastructure country, and this particular government is putting around 4 lakh crores of rupees for infrastructure.
Yes.
Definitely out of that 40,000 crores will be material expenditure.
Yes.
And that material expenditure will get more tilted towards steel because it's a faster construction, it's a quick construction, it's a quality construction, it's a zero maintenance construction and 100 years plus of life. So there are some structures which give 300 years of life.
300 years.
Yes. You have this Lotus Temple in Delhi.
Yes.
What steel they have used, it's 300 years.
So because of this durability, you see demand will go up definitely.
It has to go up because the more we invest in infrastructure, the preference will come to steel.
Okay.
And that is what we have been working on, to replace other materials with steel.
Okay. Now, in 2014, the NP of the steel sector was about 1.15 lakh crore. Now, because this has been resolved largely, how much credit do you give to the insolvency and bankruptcy code brought in by this government? Via the NCLAT, these resolutions have happened. How would you look at that?
See, I put it this way, that the best way for bankers to get back their money is when we have a holistic approach to the sector.
Yes.
Because of the holistic approach to the sector, when the industry started doing very well, you had good bidders coming when the IBC code was put forward.
Yes.
So you will find in steel sector, not only just the promoter was trying the best to retain it, you had good bidders coming with a very good price and a very good bidding cost, which will result to the minimal kind of a haircut.
Was this a result of your ministry helping in to bring in MIP
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
the industry environment then improving and then
absolutely,
this interest?
Absolutely.
Because had that not happened, bidders wouldn't have.
Would not. You are absolutely right on that, for the simple reason that if you look at the EBITDA of the top 3,
yes,
which went in NCLT,
yes,
they all had EBITDA 20 plus.
Yes.
So they started making profit as a plant.
Yes.
The problem was their balance sheets.
Yes.
The balance sheets were in a mess because
yes,
they were a big defaulters.
Yes.
And that is where the problem came. So in the sense now, IBC will put a good fiscal discipline to the industry,
yes,
as well.
Yes.
They will realize that unless until there is a crisis,
yes,
it is better to pay off the credits which they take.
Okay.
They must efficiently use that money, and that discipline is going to give a big boost to the industry.
So the small sum up of this question was the government comes in, brings in MIP, you bring in countervailing duty, you stop spurious wrong steel imports which are bad quality. The industry comes back to profit, and that's why now there are bidders for companies.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
because that's the way to approach, because you have to resolve the issue also. Otherwise, it will go to a scrap value. That is there. So to get a good bidders, the plant has to be really attractive,
yes,
for any of the bidder to step, yes, in, and that is what is making.
And now going ahead, you also rolled out the steel policy, I think in May last year.
That's true.
What has been achieved, and what do you expect will be achieved in the
Yes, as a industry and as a department, Steel Ministry is very, very happy because steel policy per se is sort of more a coordination work with all related departments to give a boost to the steel sector. Any developed nation cannot be weak on steel. It is very, very clear. The steel has to, it's a steel frame. It builds a steel frame for any nation. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
So in that, what has happened is, you must have seen the results. The production has gone up. The consumption has gone up as per the steel policy, and we are targeting for 300 million tons by 2030.
300 million
we are
tons.
now optimistic about it.
Okay.
So it will definitely reach, and the consumption will settle around 160 kg per capita, and that is what India can absorb.
And
very
this is pragmatic,
conveniently.
160 will...
Very pragmatic, very pragmatic. So in the sense, there is, you must have seen globally everybody was worried on excess capacity. And India has ensured in that to define the excess capacity as the subsidies or support measures taken by the government which distort the market forces and leads to excess capacity. Now India's policy, our national steel policy, does not indulge into that at all. We don't give any subsidy, we don't give any support measures. Not only that, we are moving ahead with the excess capacity. We have also given a paper globally that as a developing economy, definitely and being blessed with iron ore
yes.
and the technology, we are bound to go up and produce steel for our own consumption, and our sector will be more domestic consumption tilted, and definitely we will export what we have a niche with.
Okay, okay. Now going ahead, what are the production targets per se? You see that you said 300 million tons by 2030. You would have broken this up into mini targets. So by 2020, is there something that is achievable?
You are absolutely right, because I will not like to use the word target because
yes.
it is a deregulated sector
yes.
and government doesn't give a target. But
yes.
the way the market is moving today, yes, by 2020 we are very sure the investments which are already in place, the capacity ramp up which is happening,
yes.
and the future plans which they have put it, by 2020 we will reach the capacity of 150.
150.
Easily.
Okay.
Easily. 134 we are already in.
Okay.
So 16 we will catch up.
Okay. There was this huge talk in 2014 about the plant utilization in the steel sector. Have you seen that improve now with...
Yes. If you look at the absolute percentage in the graph, it may show less, that
yes.
we have come down from 85 to 75.
Yes.
The reason behind that is we are ramping up.
Yeah,
so the
capacity,
new plants are getting ramping up.
In the world.
So it will reach ramping up of 85 to 90% in this calendar year of 18-19.
Yes.
So that is how we will add on.
Okay.
And when we are talking of 300 million tons, out of that 25 million tons will be the efficiency contribution.
Yes.
Easily. Because today in techno-economic parameters we are quite low. And that is where everybody is working on.
Yes.
So that will add on another 20-25 million tons without any new investment.
Yes. So 150 million tons steel production you expect to happen by 2020.
That's true. That's
okay.
True.
Now I want to speak of specialty steels. India imports a lot of auto grade steel historically, a special steel needed for making cars and buses and other autos. Do you see India becoming self-dependent with this steel policy in the production of auto grade steel?
What you say is absolutely right. India is going to become the biggest hub for auto manufacture.
Yes.
Number two, India is already reached number 4 position in automobiles on road.
Already.
Right. Already we have reached that. So in that scenario, and it is very important that we make maximum of the auto steel.
Yes.
Some improvement has come. We have not got it in the green field auto
yes.
manufacture, but in the brown field we have got it. Like Tata has got with Nippon, and they are already making auto steel.
Grade steel.
Yes. JSW has got with JFE, they are already into auto grade steel.
Yes.
POSCO is importing the back end and making the cold roll for the auto grade steel.
Yes.
So these three have already started. SAIL is in talk with ArcelorMittal for last 3 years, and they are doing their paperwork. So hopefully that will also come through very soon.
That's going to be my next question. But
right, that will come very soon.
Yes.
But having said that, it is very important that we do get the technology and brownfield manufacturing of Japan and South Korea as well in India.
Okay, so that technology must come to India. That's the prerequisite for this setup. At this juncture, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Just before the break, we had Ms. Sharma explaining to us how even auto-grade steel now would be made in India. Already some manufacturers have made headway. She spoke of JSW, Tata, Nippon and others. We'll now try to ask her about new projects coming in this auto-grade steel manufacturing, which will happen in India. Ma'am, I would want to know from you this, like you spoke before the break about the ArcelorMittal and the SAIL JV that's supposed to take place, and you've been in talks for a couple of years. When do you see that becoming reality, and when already there are 3 other manufacturers doing it?
Very true. For SAIL, it is being a commercial decision. The ministry does not intervene into it.
Yes.
But the ministry monitor it, and we are hopeful that all the ruffles will be ironed out as early as possible, because it's a commercial deal. Even SAIL has to tread on it very carefully, as it is equally true for ArcelorMittal, to avoid any confusions in future. So that thing is on. Location also, they have zeroed down to 2-3 locations, which 2 of them will freeze when they want to go ahead with it.
So there will be 2 locations the plant will be located?
No, it will be in one location. So out of 3, they will zero down on one.
Andhra Pradesh, then Rourkela.
Rourkela will be making hot roll coil for the auto-grade hot roll coil.
Yes.
But next step from hot roll coil will be either in Andhra or Maharashtra or Gujarat.
Yes.
So they are looking at the pros and cons of each of the places.
Okay.
And they'll take a commercially viable decision on that. Okay. So that is where it stands as far as this goes.
Okay. But ma'am, from the policy perspective, you say SAIL will take its own commercial decision, but from the policy perspective, the ministry thinks that it's the technology that we are after. We would need these kind of things to and the know-how to come to India. Yes.
Today, one happy situation is Hyundai is seriously thinking to establish their electric car manufacture in the eastern coast of India, in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So that is, they are zeroing down.
Yes.
But having said that, what as a ministry we are trying to work with, along with Ministry of Commerce and DIPP, is to encourage Japan and South Korea to invest in the green fields. Similarly, we will like to encourage the European IPR holders in the auto grade to invest here. So that kind of investment is something we are eager on, and it's a time-consuming process because they have their capacities in their own parent countries. And one biggest important thing for ensuring to get the steel manufacturers is the dedicated iron ore mine. So that is where we are in talk with Ministry of Mines, which today says auction route. But how do we ensure that end users do get guaranteed mines in the near vicinity? And that is where the crux we have to work upon. The land pools are already available, so that hurdle is over. Where in the past history we had delays because of the land acquisition or land making being available. That is how it is moving. Orissa will be a very important state. Out of 300 million tons, 100 million tons will come from Orissa
one state alone.
Kalinganagar will come up very strongly. Angul will come up very strongly. And locations being nearer port, nearer iron ore mines. And we are in talks with the Orissa government to ensure that land pool is available, which they have already taken the steps. And second thing is the iron ore mines or iron ore supply is guaranteed to these plants.
So iron ore supply guaranteed is what you're working on. Ma'am, would want to know from you, what kind of investments do you expect to go into this sector? Because these all projects you speak would be entailing billions of dollars in investment. Some ballpark idea?
It will be nearly 10 lakh crores of rupees.
10 lakh crores of
rupees.
That's
right. That will be going into it. And we are also parallelly working that today when a steel industry is made, all machinery is important. So we are in talk with BHEL and other capital goods manufacturer, and we have made a list and offered to them as to which of the machinery we can also make in India. So that is another line which we have made a beginning, and let's see how
that's a new line of thought.
That's true. So that will go very much in tune with the Make in India. We will see how fast we travel on that line.
Sure. And going ahead, want to know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently inaugurated a steel plant of SAIL where you make high-end special TMT bars, which I believe are used in the construction sector. What was, could you share?
See, the Bhilai steel plant went for modernization by investing nearly 18,500 crores. Now it is completed and now ramping process has started. So their products will be, one is the long rails, which now they have ramped up.
Yes.
And they will reach a peak where they can make nearly 1 lakh ton of rail per month.
So which is all consumed by the railways, Indian Railways?
That's true. And long rail means they make a rail of 130 meters.
Yes.
What you get across the globe will be around 40, 50, 60 meters.
It is different.
So it will have just one building and you supply 260 meters of rail.
Yes.
So in the sense it is more sturdy, more better, and plant welded. So it's an excellent product that has come up, and railway is buying it.
Yes.
We have already started the supply, so to a tune of 30,000 per month we are already doing it, but now it will reach to the level of nearly a lakh per month.
Okay.
And then they have gone, what you rightly said, for the other longs, which will be more seismic resistant.
Yes.
So for seismic zones which are prone to earthquakes, that will be one of the best products they will have. Then some of the flat products are also very much in demand, what they are giving for defense and other things. So the Bhilai steel plant, whatever they were investing, is now near completion. Now it is ramping and production on which they are focusing on.
Okay. Now going ahead, your government also speaks about a special alloy policy. Now, which all industries are you targeting via the alloy policy, and what kind of capacity and capability build-up do you expect the industry to get via this policy?
Very true. That is at a very initial stages. We are working on the alloy policy. We have asked the comments of the industry, and then we will be moving ahead with it, because the next step in steel, like you very correctly flagged the auto steel, another thing is alloy steel. Yes. Because that is what is used in the defense sector, that is what is used for the high-end your space technology sectors.
So you mean defense will encompass everything from tanks to airplanes?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the alloy is the one where the answer lies, and we have to develop the capability for it as we are moving ahead with it.
Yes.
And that is what this policy will focus on, so that it will trigger and India starts rolling on that path.
Okay, now but when you say we have to build capability, and the government has this grouse with the Indian industry, the ministers also spoke about it, that Indian industrialists do billions of dollars in turnover but are very stingy investing in research and development. What comment would like you to make on that, and what do you expect to happen in the coming years?
You are absolutely right. The industry is investing in research and development, but that is process research.
Yes.
See, they are improving their processes, they are reducing the time of processes, they are maximizing the profits, the raw material combination, all that they are working. But what it now requires is a focused approach on going for a research, and that is a time-consuming approach.
Okay.
So the ministry has gone ahead, and the minister has been very particular about it, to have an umbrella organization called SRTMI.
Okay.
So it is already processed for the cabinet, and there will be a little seed money into it by the ministry.
Okay.
But industry will be contributing.
Industry will contribute
they
to
will
it.
contribute.
So it will be a joint pool for research.
It will be a joint pool for research. And more so, what is most important is the question for research will be framed by the industry.
Okay.
It will not be just an academic research kind of a thing which ends up into publishing paper.
Yes.
But it will be the questions framed by the industry, which will trigger the results and will benefit the industry.
So you can be deployed in the plants.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Ma'am, two last questions before I leave. One was the recent talk of high tariffs which are now being levied by the USA on steel products and also aluminium products. And what do you make of this new protectionism rising in the world, and what would be India's response to it?
See, it goes like that. Anything which is WTO compliant, we are supportive to it. Because in the trade measures, WTO principles are allowed for any country to encourage their domestic industries. But anything which is out of WTO principles is definitely a matter of concern, because if you don't go by the world rules, then it sort of disrupts the whole organization. On a short term of it, yes, our imports to US may look only 2 million tons, and we are 10th in the list of the imports to US. But definitely India will not like any country's doors to be closed whenever we want to enter the export market. And our biggest exports are in terms of pipes. So that is a conduit in which it is going. Now it is basically wait and watch. Through Ministry of Commerce already we have made a mention in the WTO. So we are quite in the process. Like I said, in short term it is not going to hit us, because we are a high consumer country will be going, but we don't want any doors to be closed where we are competitive as per the WTO.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all your thoughts today. As we see, the steel sector is in for good times. Things have been improving since 2014, and with the kind of investments in specialty steels, auto grade steels, and the others which Ms. Sharma shared with us, I think the sector is in for good days ahead. Thank you, viewers, for joining us on this episode of Policy and Politics. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us your time on this episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.